Welcome back, everyone, to Red Sea Radio, the voice of the people in the Red Sea. GBR, man. Here we are, back with our preview prediction show. Northern Illinois. Come to town.
Can't say Illinois.
I have to say Illinois because I have some people.
No.
I do. I've been yelled at.
Is it like Des Moines?
Des Moines, yes. What else is there? There's a couple more. But my friends in Illinois, they'd always get mad when some Midwesterner says Illinois. It's Illinois. The S is silent. But anyway, here we are, Summit. We're back. First of all, I got to give a shout-out to all you people out there, Husker fans or not. We had a ton of views and thumbs up on our post-game show for the Colorado Buffaloes, man. We appreciate the love. I know I can't say it enough. That was phenomenal, an absolute fire. So thank you for that. We will also quickly, I'm going to let you know, we're going to be live right after Nebraska, Northern Illinois on Saturday night. So make sure you tune in. We'll give our live reaction and post-game thoughts immediately following the game, so please be sure to check that out, and hope to see you in there. Hit the thumbs up if you are a Husker fan, and as well as hit that subscribe button, man. We appreciate it. Summit, boom, here we are. Time for a new week, man. How are you?
Yeah.
Immediate thoughts. How you feeling?
I really don't know.
New man.
This is really, in the coaching world, this is kind of like, you got to respect your opponent, obviously, but it's, I think it's a week where you just kind of focus on yourself, and you got to figure a way to kind of right your own ship. There's a lot of naysayers out there right now. There's a lot of people, fans, media members, they're kind of questioning things right now with the coaches and the style of play that we have kind of going. So, this is the time where you kind of rely on your leaders. You hope all those days in the dorms they sat together and did all that stuff. You hope that this is the week that it finally shows itself a little bit, because, man, your situation right now, you're 0-2. There's a lot of questions. You return home finally. I mean, only Power 5 school to have 2 road games against Power 5 opponents. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's a reality. It's tough.
Yep.
And here we are. I mean, you got to look at yourself this week, man. You got to find a way to get it done.
Yep.
Hopefully they do.
Find a way. So let's break it down right now. Northern Illinois comes in. The Huskies, NIU, they come in at 1-1. And I'm going to go down a couple stats here and there. In their only 2 games, their last game they lost to Southern Illinois. So I'm at 14-11 with 3 picks from Lombardi. What are your quick thoughts on that one? Tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's North versus South. I'm sure it has. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know a bunch about either school, other than I know NIU has a history of playing well against Power 5 schools, and they did it the week before. They beat Boston College in overtime.
Boston College, yep.
So you look at kind of, you just don't really see like an explosive offense with them. It's one in which Rockies. Against Boston College, he threw for 165 yards, and then against Southern Illinois, he threw for almost 300, but he had 3 picks. I think a lot of that is because, they got a TD in the fourth quarter to make it close. Otherwise, it was 14-3. They got like a long play. So, you just look at the team and you're just like, they have a history. I mean, they beat Tanner Lee and Mike Riley and all those guys in 2017, and that's because we gifted them 2 pick sixes.
Yep.
And I remember back when that game happened, and it's the same coaching staff. I think Thomas Haddock, I think, is the head coach still. They play a real interesting style on their front. It's like they're smaller, but they shoot gaps. It's almost like something you tell like a little league team, and that's not meant to be like derogatory towards them or disrespectful, but it's like the way they shoot gaps, it's almost like they call them. Their whole basis of their D line is to cross the face of an offensive lineman and get them to reach, and then it exposes, it opens up a lane for their backers to make plays. And Nebraska really struggled with it. The last time we played against them, I'm assuming, they're going to bring that same style, because it's the same kind of offense, really, this pro style. Mike Riley and Satterfield kind of have a lot of similarities. So I mean, I have an analogy for this game, and I hope it doesn't come to fruition. It's kind of like that like when you play against a team that obviously isn't as talented as you on paper, you don't want to give them. It's like fire. You don't want to give it oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
It might be like smoke, and then if you don't play well for a quarter, the smoke then turns to like a little flame, and then by halftime, if you're really not playing well, and then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh. It's like just adding gasoline to it,
Yeah,
and you just
Nebraska,
give a team like that.
Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, you just give a team like belief that we can hang with these guys.
Yes, cannot do that.
All right, and then by the fourth quarter, you're like, the time I heard this analogy was back when Nebraska played McNeese State. And it was like full on inferno until
Oh gosh,
Abdullah catches the
so
screen
sick.
and like houses it. One of the great plays.
Oh, unbelievable.
But it's against a team. You're like, what?
Why are we in this position? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you hope it doesn't get like that. But I think the start of the game is going to be really important for Nebraska. Don't let them find their footing.
No.
Like come out, and if you're going to run the ball at them, run it right at them.
Yep.
And who knows with the injuries? I don't know what's going on. Last I heard, Sims is gonna go they had practice this evening. We're filming this on a Wednesday, so they had practice Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, and they said he was gonna give it a shot. So who knows what will happen? We'll find out, I guess, tomorrow. We'll find out for sure like 2 hours before the kickoff because they have to do that injury report. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting in this one. And for me, as I'm looking at stats, I'm looking at Lombardi, 36 of 66, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Jeff Sims, 20 of 34, 1 touchdown, 4 picks. We know the turnover machine that has become. Total yards, we're going to run this down real quick. NIU averages 349, Nebraska 318. Passing yards, NIU averages 235. Nebraska's 116. Yards rushing, they're at $114. We're at 205. Yards allowed, NIU at 266. We're at 352. Passing yards, they allow 158. We allow 296. Rushing, they're 108. We are 56.5, which is phenomenal so far, considering you played Colorado and Minnesota, which I thought Minnesota rushed for a lot more than that. But,
I mean,
defense has played well.
I mean, aside from the, quarter and a half to end the game versus Colorado, our defense has been pretty –
They've been pretty dang good.
It's been the surprising part of it. I mean, I knew at the beginning of the year that was going to be the strength of the team.
Yep.
I didn't think they would be able to develop as quickly as they had. I thought there would be a little bit of adjustment period. I mean, there's going to be times, I think, this year where our defense just makes a lot of these teams in the Big Ten West look ridiculous because it's so hard to block the fronts because they change every time. So really you're kind of, what's the word? As an offensive coach, during the week in prep, you're like, there's no way to get through all of it. So you just kind of have to find something, like, hey, did that work? And then you kind of got to stick with it. I was looking at Northern Illinois' their rushing stats for the year. And, Nebraska's strength right now is the rush defense. And their backs right now, one average is 2.9 yards a carry, and the other average is 4.2.
Yeah.
So, they're right around that mark. Nebraska wants to keep them to around 3 yards a carry, so 3.5. So, it's just a lot of times you just wonder how patient can a team be.
Right.
And I don't know what they'll be like. I just don't. I mean, this game should be Nebraska's, obviously. I mean,
gosh,
but you just never know.
You
just
don't
never
know.
No. Their defense doesn't create a ton of havoc. I mean, they have 6 sacks. And, they're not big yardage sacks. So they don't have many they've only had 1 turnover. They forced no fumbles. So they haven't really caused chaos in their games that they played. It's just been real tight games.
Yep.
So you just hope that Nebraska shows up and does what they're supposed to do.
And I was listening to Rule in the presser, and he said, this will be the best front we go against. That sent shockwaves to me.
Right, and I don't know if you're trying to read between the lines there. Does he mean like, are they the most talented or is it
Right.
the best coached?
Right.
Like, if it's the best coach scheme, that's cool. Like, okay, let's go. Let's match scheme versus scheme. Sometimes, I thought the thing with the Colorado game, and I don't want to talk about it, but the thing about the Colorado game was they knew we were going to run.
Oh, for sure.
So they were blitzing so much. And every time they had blitzed, I mean, it limited us in the passing game. We had to get the ball out quick, otherwise we are going down. And I think, flipping that to this week, I want to see us take a shot play.
Yes,
Like,
please.
throw it down the
Please.
field. I don't know what quarterback can do it, but you know what? If it's 3rd and 8, let it
Let
rip.
it go. Yes.
Go
come on.
max protect, keep 2 tight ends, and
We
just
have
say,
to,
hey,
yeah.
like, put 2 tight ends back there, maybe another back, put in a fullback, and just go straight up old school, 1 wide out, say, hey, go beat the guy.
Let it go. Let it go.
And just see heavy play action and just
See what
let it
happens.
rip. Yeah, I mean, I think if you complete 1 or 2 of those a game, like, the thing with Nebraska is, like, we talked about this before, but our drives are just so, well, they're not productive, to be honest, but they lack the big play. Like, we'll have maybe a 20-yard run or maybe a 15-yard run, but no one's house calling it. No one's headbutting the goalpost.
No.
And so how do you kind of free up maybe start getting some passes out to the wide receivers? I mean, it's shocking to see. And you hope that these next 2 games are kind of like the get right games.
I hope
so.
What
Michigan, what Michigan's going to bring. Michigan's going to bring their lunch pail, and they're going to hit you in the mouth.
Yep.
So, all right, big deal, cool. We're not going to be favorites in that game. All right, whatever. But these next 2 are really important because I think it will reestablish some belief in the team. Rule talked about this. They hope to look in 3 years. In 3 years' time, to look back at these weeks and say these are the best weeks that we've coached.
Yep.
And you hope so. You hope that the guys believe in the handling of positions has been a hot topic, and you wonder what like Sims is the starting quarterback,
right?
And I know last podcast we talked about well, if Grant fumbles and he gets benched, Sims. And I think that night I talked about how you got to handle the quarterback different. I don't care what people say.
It's different.
It's a different position, and that has to be done carefully, I think, because you have, he was obviously kind of voted a captain. He's got a single digit. That's kind of an important deal under rules. Yep. So, you can't be a yo-yo with that position. And if you were to go to Harburg or whoever, Purdy, if he's healthy, like, how long of a leash do you give those guys? Are they going to get multiple interceptions, or is it going to be like the first time they throw a pick or they fumble the ball, do you yank them out? And then it's like, oh, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like what they did with Christian's brother. What was his name? Luke McCaffrey. Like, he was yo-yoed around, and what did he do?
He's out.
Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here. And now he's going to be a draft pick in the NFL this next year. And couldn't this team use that receiver?
Oh boy, they could use that playmaker. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, big time. So what do you think? I mean, like, what do you think Nebraska's going to try to attack this week?
Honestly, I'm frightened. I'm the more I've looked at it, the more I am so scared. Because that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, we always talk. I always talk about this in terms of, like, I was thinking about the Colorado game, and my thought was, well, I think Nebraska defensively showed those upcoming teams, against Colorado, how to stop them. Well, I think Colorado showed how to shut down Nebraska, and it's to stack the box, blitz, blitz, blitz. I think Northern Illinois. I mean, Northern Illinois is going to sell out, I think.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you at this point? Why wouldn't you? I would do the same thing. I'd go in thinking, you're not running the ball against us. I want Jeff Sims to beat me with his decision-making. He's got to be leading the country in turnovers, right, as a starting quarterback. I'm sure. I bet in all D1.
Nebraska leads the country in turnovers, period. They're -8.
There you go.
Or they have 8 turnovers. We've picked up 2, I believe. Illinois, a fumble versus Colorado, and then I think we had a pick versus Minnesota. So we're -6.
Okay.
So
There you
that's
go.
where we're at
I mean,
there.
if you
But
think about it, as a defensive coordinator, you know a team is turnover prone. You want to send chaos, send the troops, make them make quick decisions. And that, the more I look at it, the more it worries me. I'm also concerned. I know he hasn't had a good start. I know Lombardi has not had a good start. But Lombardi was a former quarterback, right? Michigan State Spartan.
right,
This atmosphere is not going to scare him at all. I don't think
yeah.
he'll be rattled at all.
I'm trying to find. I believe last year they had a really big win on the road, and I want to say he played really well. I'm trying to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he went bonk. I want to say it was against the Big Ten football team
It
too.
wouldn't surprise me.
So would that
But
be
I think, yeah, with
2000?
Lombardi, I just think he'll come in. I think he won't be, he won't be wide-eyed, and I think he'll play well. I think Northern Illinois will stack the box. It's starting to concern me right now. The spread is right around 10-11. Looks like it's going to be a great night for football. Over/under is 43. Weather is 81 and partly cloudy. So it's going to be a great night for football. It's just, for me, I look at and granted, Northern Illinois has played Boston College and Southern Illinois. Like, not too unbelievably offensive, they're
Juggernauts.
not. Yeah, so it's not like their defense has been challenged a whole lot, but I guess we're gonna find out how good Colorado and Minnesota really are. If we go into this game and offense still struggles, I think it will be ugly, and I just think people will really be upset if we win this game. If we were to win this game 27-10 or 27-14 or something, people are not going to be thrilled with the offensive performance. I mean, people want to. But is this an offense that's going to put up 49, 56 without a couple defensive scores or special team scores? Probably not. Probably not.
No. So I guess we played Northern Illinois in 2019 with Scott Frost, and we won 44-8.
Yep.
Martinez went bonkers. Mills had 11 carries for 116 yards. That was a whole different offense.
Way different.
But that's pre-pandemic. But they beat Georgia Tech last year, I believe. It was the team I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, 2021. They went to Georgia Tech, and I'm looking to see if our boy Sims was playing.
Oh gosh.
Sims played in that game.
Did he really?
He was 4 of 9. He got hurt.
Okay.
He was 4 of 9 passing for 23 yards, and he had 6 rushes for 34 yards. My dog's barking in the background. Awesome. And so he did not play well.
Gosh.
I mean, it wasn't good. But here's what's crazy: they had Jahmyr Gibbs, who now plays for the Lions,
Gibbs is a
Alabama.
beast. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 20 carries for 99 yards. So that just shows you, like, but then they had another back, M. Jordan, had 96 yards. So Georgia Tech ran it on them quite a bit, but they lost late, 22-21. And Rocky Lombardi was 11 for 17 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. They had a running back go for 144. So, this team's not going to be intimidated.
No.
They're not intimidated. They play in a small stadium. Like I think I saw last week, there was 13,000 people at the game between Northern and Southern Illinois.
Wow.
So they're not. I mean, they'll walk into this place, home opener for Matt Rule, night game in Lincoln. Should be a special environment.
It should be.
0-2. I think people will still turn out, and
it'll be crazy.
There's still that allure. It'll be fun.
It will.
They'll do the whole light show thing, and people will put on Instagram and all that stuff and lose their
Can't
minds.
wait.
But,
can't wait.
Yeah, you'll see it all. But I'm just gonna look. I'm looking forward to seeing how we come out and play.
Me too.
Hopefully, we had a good week of practice.
Me too.
We take care of business. But
yep. Let's get into prediction time. Prediction time. Nebraska, Northern Illinois.
What was the over-under again?
43-ish. Right around 43.
43. It's 11.
11 and a half.
10.
10, 11.
And a half.
Summit, you want to go first, or do you want me to just I'm a little nervous about this one. I really am.
I think I'm going. Nebraska's going to win the game.
Okay.
I think we will cover.
All right.
And I think they're going to kind of show up a little bit offensively. I think they're going to get one of the backs will go over 100 yards, and we'll probably have a special teams play that will matter big. I'm going Nebraska 31, Northern Illinois 13.
31-13. There it is.
And the over, baby.
And the over.
All right. Cover and
Here
the over.
We go.
This is not gambling advice, by the way.
So here I am. So much is going through my mind because after the first 2 weeks, seeing this offense has been really tough. It's been a struggle watching this team try to move the ball. I have thought to myself, Nebraska's going to lose one of these next 2 games.
Ooh.
Either Northern Illinois or Louisiana Tech. Ola Tech. And this one scares me. I think Nebraska, it's the first home game, 6 o'clock kick. Environment should be pretty rowdy because it's going to be the first game, right? Everybody's going to file in, want to see their Huskers. They've been on the road the first 2 weeks of the season. It's hard to not go against Nebraska at this point. I feel like there's something that they'll just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. But I don't think it's going to be this week. I think the Huskers get it done. I'm going to say 27-20. Nebraska squeaks it out. And at the end of the night,
we both like the over.
27-20, and I think this actually, by the time we do our post-game show, we'll be talking about this feels like a loss, even though we won. That's how I'm going to say it now. This feels like a loss, even though we get it done. I think it's an ugly, ugly game. I think we get bailed out by a defensive score, a scoop and score, a special teams, touchdown. Something happens that's crazy where we're like, wow, we should have lost that game, but we escape with the win. Move to 1-2, and hopefully keep things rolling next week against La Tech. But it is what it is right now. We're in this it's a very volatile situation with this team.
We need to get tallies in the left-hand side.
We will.
That's the deal. Like, we have to get, when you look at the W side of the column, that's the left-hand side.
Oh yeah.
You want some tallies, and I think there's 10 games left, right?
Yep.
Can you get 6? Because what was the prediction all year?
Man.
Like preseason, what was everyone's predictions? The Vegas had us at 6.
6-6, 7-5. Yeah, I mean, right there.
I mean, this is a game, obviously, that it has to be a win. If it's not a win, look out.
Season's done.
I mean, we're
in trouble. And I don't even,
trouble,
and maybe, I had a funny comment about this Red Sea Radio channel. Someone had said, man, you guys, after we started 0-2, you guys picked the worst time to start a Husker channel. I said, no, this is the perfect time.
No, dude, we're going to ride this bad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this will be there's nonstop news when it comes to Husker football and losing. You can't stop talking about it because there's so many bizarre things that happen that they give you content. I mean, they do. Huskers give you content. So we're both picking Nebraska to get it done. Grant was not able to join us tonight, but I'm guessing he would pick Nebraska to win as well. But, of course, if he's live after whatever happens, he will say that's the way he was going to go. So
for sure, yeah.
He'll probably be on the post-game show at some point. Other than that, man, I'm excited. I hope the Huskers get it done.
Here's my question. Last one for you.
Yep.
Over under on the number of turnovers Nebraska has against Northern Illinois.
Over under the number of turnovers Nebraska has. I'll say 3.
I'm setting it at 1.5.
I'm over. I am over. Don't even. I am way over. I'm taking that to the bank. I just what I want to see. I want to see a clean game. I don't care what happens in the. I don't care if we lose 3-0. If we go 3 and out every single time, don't turn the ball over and punt. Like, I'd be like,
Bet the
yeah,
house.
yep, 1.5. Huh? I'm saying, I don't know. I think Northern Illinois is gonna pack the box, and I think they're gonna force Sims to be a passer. And what's just shocking me too is looking at the stats, and I see our little portal friend was leading receiver. I'm like, what? Like, Billy Kemp is our leading receiver with 5 receptions? With 57 yards.
Yeah.
We've completed 20 passes. He has 5 of them through 2 games. And both those games, I mean, when Minnesota, not as much. But
he had 0. He didn't have a catch.
He didn't have any in the first game. Yeah, against Minnesota. So it'll be a great night. It'll be a great night for football, man. And I'm excited. I hope Nebraska gets it done. We need it. I mean, the Husker Nation, the Red Sea. We need a win, right? Everybody needs a win.
It'd be healing for sure. Yes.
Gotta get a win. All right. Well, Summit, any last thoughts, man? We're gonna wrap it up.
No, man. I just hope Nebraska plays hard. I mean, I think they'll play hard. I think the offense will turn around a little bit, and it'll be a fun night. We can't wait to see you guys on the post game.
Yes.
We'll be live at some point that night, and hopefully, if you guys show up, man, make sure you guys drop a line in the chat, and we'll try to get to any sort of questions you guys might have for us or what we think and everything like that. So it'll be great. Can't wait to see what happens over the worst part about Saturday is we have to wait.
I know. It's awful.
We get blessed with these 11 o'clock kickoffs, and now we have to wait.
Go wait all day.
That Thursday night versus Minnesota, man, that was tough enough, but now we're gonna have to watch everyone else play.
Yep.
There's some good games, I think the Florida-Tennessee game's on at the same time.
Ooh.
There's some good games though. That not as good as next week. The week after is bonkers, by the way, and we maybe can talk about that.
Yeah, we can touch on some of that.
Week,
yeah,
preview, but should be a good day. Hopefully, Nebraska turns it out right.
I hope so. And like Summit said, man, get in that post-game show. Drop us your questions. I love it when you guys are interactive. It gives us things to talk about. Obviously, Summit and I love having this podcast, radio show, whatever you want to call it, about Husker football. We typically come up with our stuff, just chatting and going off. But we love when we can read down the chat and see what you guys are all talking about and want to know more about. Even if you're not a Husker fan. I mean, gosh darn it, we love you guys tuning in. Especially if you come over from Summit's gaming channel, which is at Summit Husker, or mine, which is at BRM Gaming. Check those two out if you haven't. But you guys are all coming over, giving feedback and all that. I mean, we cannot thank you enough for that. So that's it. Huskers, get it done, man. Stop the pain. It's time for a dub. For Summit, this is Mac, Red Sea Radio. We'll catch you guys on the postgame, man. GBR. Peace, y'all.
See y'all.